turn the Discord up.
Yep.
You got it.
Test.
Alright, I've turned it up. How about now?
1, 2.
Testing.
Who all's in the call here? You guys want to do a quick test?
Yeah.
Hey, what up?
Siren?
Yes. Hi.
Okay.
Siren's really quiet. Can you turn
I'm
up
really
the
quiet.
Siren's volume?
Yep, it's up.
Testing.
Do I need to turn up my...
That's all the way it can go?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's my volume? Like my own mic? Is that good?
Your mic's fine. Yeah, I think we're all good.
Even me. I mean, if I had to, I can hold the mic up to my face and maybe I could sound louder that way.
No, it sounds good. It sounds good now.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna refresh here. Actually, we got Tonic in the call now too.
Hello, hello.
Yo, what up, Tonic?
Hey, Tonic.
How you guys doing, alright?
Pretty good?
Did-
Good.
Any more final donations, or what is the status here?
I don't think we've seen any movement.
Okay.
Yes. Yep, all the same.
So that means that the winning file name with $78.44 is Donguri.
Yo.
You got it.
Iwata had a good fight, but $67 was not enough.
Yeah, I noticed it was pretty close.
Good work, guys.
Thanks everybody who donated for that, though. I have one more thing I want to plug while you're typing in the name. It has come to my attention that there's another growing bid war that I have to point out. As we get to the end of the marathon, the one true question on everyone's mind: which anime will you let JRTA3 say is the best anime? Currently in the lead, we have I Ate Your Pie of Stream Big Fame. And in second and third place, Magical Poppin' and Tosaka Rin.
I'm a big fan of Tosaka Rin, the anime.
That's right. Interestingly enough, our bid war for best anime contains exactly 0 anime.
Sounds pretty anime to me.
In fourth place, tied for fourth, we have Oxus and Kirby is Cute.
Heaven's Feel, dude.
So plenty of opportunity for you guys to decide what the best anime is as we go to the end of the marathon here. Okay, we are ready for LADX, if you are ready.
Alright, so one last time. My name is Hakua. This is Link's Awakening DX Reverse Boss Order. On with me on commentary, I have my good friend Siren.
Hello.
Hello. Alright, so without further ado, we're just going to get started. All set on the timer and everything?
Give me 1 second.
Alright, you got it.
Okay, yes, we're good.
Okay, so here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, guys, thank you. Alright, so this is Link's Awakening Link Awakening DX, Reverse Boss Order. So the objective of this game, obviously, is to fight the bosses in reverse intended order. The first boss we have to fight would be Deathel, which is the final boss of the game, and the last boss we were required to fight would be Moldworm, the boss of Dungeon 1. After that, we just need to reach the end screen, which unfortunately the only way to do so is actually to beat Deathel again. So we're gonna have to fight him twice. Apart from that, this game is riddled with a bunch of out of bounds, a bunch of glitches, so you're gonna be in for a real treat if you haven't seen this game as broken as it is.
It's wild.
So the start of the game is pretty glitchless because we don't really have any items, so I'm just gonna go down to the beach and pick up the sword as per usual Link's Awakening DX.
One thing I guess I'll say is that we do not actually use a doghouse glitch in this category. This game is broken up that we do not need it to do the first boss order.
Indeed. It's one of the few restrictions that keeps the category a bit more interesting, because the doghouse is incredibly broken to the point where everything would just be the same trick over and over again. Alright, so now that we have this sword, we can head up to the woods up here. And up here we're going to grab the tail key, which is the key to enter the first dungeon of the game. Tail Cavern. Haha. And normally, you can't get by this mysterious raccoon unless you have the powder. However, there's a trick coming up that I'll let Siren explain that allows us to get past him.
Yeah, so coming up next is the Moblin boost, basically. The way you do it is you first perform a wall clip. And what a wall clip is basically you go into a corner of a wall such that you can be more inside a wall than you're supposed to. And this has various effects. But for this such case, this allows us to basically cross a gap more than we're supposed to. This alone is not enough to cross the gap, however, and we had to manipulate a moblin to shoot us across the gap.
I'm gonna pick up this mushroom here while I'm here because this is gonna be a trip, and we might need that.
I think it induces the trip, if you ask me.
Alright, so here we go.
Come on, Hugo.
Alright, nice. First try. Not bad.
Wow, that was good.
Alright, so you can actually skip this Alatex with a frame perfect pause, but I missed it, but it's just a couple of seconds. And now that we have the tail key, this is the raccoon that gets us lost in the woods. But now that we have the key, we're just gonna head back to town. So, like I said before, we need to fight Deathel first, but before we can fight Deathel, we need to pick up a bunch of items in order to do so. So the major item that we want to pick up is the feather, Rock's feather, which is probably the most broken item in the game.
Yeah.
But while we're here in town, let's pick up the bombs and the bow and arrow.
And the shovel.
And the shovel. Which you don't particularly need, but we have to pick it up to get the bow and arrow.
So when we say pick up, we really actually mean steal, and the way you do this is basically you get the shot to look upward, and then quickly relieve the shot before they see you stealing the item. However, the consequence of doing this is when you re-enter the shot, you'll cause a game over. But in terms of grinding at 980 rubies or more, this is much, much faster.
Indeed. We are a thief, and proud of it. Alright, so now that I have all the necessary items, we can now get the hell out of town. Steal our stuff and dip, if you will.
I want to apologize to all our donors because now Donger is currently known as Thief.
True. He's been renamed to Thief. Although, it's still there on the file screen, or the file name.
Yes, he's still the Donger we all know and love.
Alright. So, there's gonna be a lot of things. As soon as I get the feather, everything just completely breaks apart really fast, so...
Get ready.
So while I'm on the way, I'm gonna have Siren explain a couple of things as I make my way through Dungeon 1, which is particularly glitchless, up until the feather.
Okay, so, on the way to the feather in particular, after we get the feather, we're gonna have access to a trick that we call super jumping. And the way you do this is you wall clip into a wall, and then you jump against the wall, and then you swing your sword away from the wall. And this basically tricks the game into thinking that we're on a ledge above the wall, and lets us jump in the air. And this lets us basically go out of bounds.
Alright.
Another thing I should probably comment is that with normal movement, out of bounds movement is actually not very... It's broken, but it's not the most broken thing. You do have plenty of restrictions when moving out of bounds. Specifically, you generally can only really go downwards when doing this, but that's plenty enough for us to move on to the next dungeon.
Alright.
So there's the feather.
I have the feather. I actually don't think I got a wall clip. Yeah, I didn't get a wall clip. Oh, whoops. Alright. So, things are gonna get pretty broken really fast. So first I'm gonna go left, then I'm gonna down, after jumping onto the ceiling, and now I'm out of bounds, and I'm gonna zip downwards, and I'm gonna keep going down. Keep in mind this is still Dungeon 1's palette, but now that I'm all the way down here, I pop out in Dungeon 1's palette, but I can enter the staircase, and now it is Dungeon 3's palette. So while I'm here, I'm gonna kill a couple of these Zols, but I'm not gonna get the other Zols to get this key, but instead I'm gonna progress forward a little bit. So funny thing about this is you can hear that it's still Dungeon 1's music. Well, I'm gonna kill these guys. And I'm gonna grab the small key, which happens to be in this room. And so from here, I'm gonna go right, and there's a key block here, as you can see. I'm just gonna pop this open, and I'm gonna jump and get myself lodged into this next key block, which has text. I'm gonna do something called a flop clip to get by it, and then super jump across, and this skips the mini-boss, the Dodongos, which is a pretty long fight, and we actually need our bombs. so we don't want to fight them. So now that I have the Pegasus boots, which is the fastest form of movement, I'm going to backtrack through Dungeon 3, and the reason why I can't just save and quit out is because we don't actually have the power bracelets, and without the power bracelets, if I were to save and quit and or die, I would just softlock the game.
Right.
So...
The first
Got all
thing
that?
the dungeon requires the yes, I got all that. The first thing the dungeon requires the power bracelet, which is why you saw why you try you die. But yeah, so we used the small key just now to go backtrack to the dungeon. And we're gonna pick up another small key next in this dungeon. This small key is actually very special in that we're not gonna actually use it within this dungeon. But note that Hakua was talking about staying within the dungeon's palace earlier. So when we go out of bounds, we can access other dungeons. But the key defining thing about this is that you can actually use your small keys in other dungeons.
But no time to explain because we're jumping out of bounds and now we're in Dungeon 4 and we've passed by the boss and now we're just hopping around. So this is Dungeon 4, but as you can see it's in Dungeon 3's palette. So this is really scary. I only have 3 hearts and it's pretty easy to die, but I'm going to try to play it relatively safe. And from here I'm going to go north here and I'm going to enter the mini-boss. But this is a speed run, so we don't want to take time fighting mini-bosses, so we're just going to jump out of this room with a super jump. See you later, mini-boss. And from here, we get the second most broken item in the game. This is the Zora's Flippers, and if you're familiar with Zelda games, there's a trick called super swimming in the Wind Waker. Well, there's also super swimming in this game, and it's pretty dang broken. So I'm going to get a wall clip on this bottom wall here, and I'm going to instigate a super swim, and now I am in the super swim state, which is pretty much a layer below everything else, so now I can just run through walls. And now we're going. Away we go.
Yep. So I should probably explain a couple of things about super swimming. As Hakua explains, basically wall clipping and super jumping in water. And what this does is that it lets us ignore collision from walls, basically. There's one restricted thing about this. Unlike normal, which we cannot go downward, we cannot go upward. With super swim, you cannot go downward, otherwise that will crash the game.
If you screen transition down, it will crash the game. Dun dun dun.
Right, and you can still interact with enemies and pots and other objects in the game, in the dungeon, but to exit the super swim state, you just simply need to jump to cancel it.
Yep. So you saw me pick up the bracelets just now, and the reason why I did that is because I need the power bracelets, because I mentioned earlier that I would soft lock without it. And so that's a power bracelets. That's actually Dungeon 6, but all power bracelet chests are actually the same, so the first one you open will be the level 1 power bracelet. And while I'm here, we might as well take the time to grab the hook shot, right? Because we're already in the super swim state and we're already out of bounds, so might as well get the hook shot.
Right, this is Dungeon 5. What you're seeing right now is Master Stalfos. To get the hookshot, you have to fight all 4 instances throughout the dungeon. And if you navigate through the dungeon normally, it takes a really long time to just go through the dungeon and fight all 4 phases. And so with super swimming, you can make this process much
faster. Just dashing through walls. Don't mind me. And again, the reason why we need the hook shot is because Dungeon 5's boss requires the hook shot. But we're not gonna obviously fight Dungeon 5's boss now because we still need to fight Deathel. It's just a very convenient time to pick up the hook shot.
Indeed. And here's the 4th instances of Master Stalfos fight.
Oh, whoops. Missed one of my arrows.
We'll be getting the hook shot after this. Oh boy.
Alright, Links of Breakening. Alright, so now I'm gonna save and quit out. And as you notice, it was in Dungeon 3's palette, so I'm actually gonna save and quit out of Dungeon 3, which actually is super convenient, because bam, this is right outside of town. And so the fastest way to get to Deathel is actually to go out of bounds through the Dream Shrine, which we actually have all the necessary items to get into the Dream Shrine. But first, I'm gonna kill myself because I hate life. No, I actually need to get more arrows because we're short on arrows and we need them to fight Deathel. The final phase of Deathel requires you to shoot arrows at his eye. So I'm just gonna buy some arrows. Alright, so we're gonna go to the Dream Shrine here, and from here, I'm gonna go to sleep now Because, you know, after dying and coming back to life, things are tiring, to say the least. Alright, so now that we're in the dream world, I'm going to super jump up this ledge, and I'm going to get the ocarina. You may be wondering why we need the ocarina in the speedrun, because typically in most categories you don't actually need the ocarina, but we actually need it in this category for later on. You'll see why. But for now, we're just going to grab it, and then we're going to jump out of bounds on the right here. And we're in a whole new cave system, and I can let Siren explain a little bit about that.
Right, so we're currently in a cave system that we call Underworld 2, and it basically lets us access a bunch of other caves as well as Dungeon 8, Dungeon 7, and the Windfish Egg, which is where we want to go to fight Deathel. Yep. So Hakua is going to do a very precise super swim here. Normally you cannot super jump or super swim off of corner tiles, but you can get from this corner tile so that it tricks the game to think that you're off the regular wall. So now he's currently super swimming. He's going to see the witch here. When you're traveling out of bounds, sometimes some objects carry on beyond transitions, and the witch here is one such case. With this, you're able to just have her boost you across forward. Anyways, be fighting Deathel soon. He, under the category's rules, you must fight all bosses under a properly reloaded dungeon state. So he's going to reload the Windfish Egg on top of the safety, but also just to properly load the fight. Deathel is a very...
Yeah, so I'm going to enter the Deathel fight now, and I'm going to try to focus, because at 3 hearts it's very scary, so I'm going to let Siren explain everything that happens here.
We're going to a final boss fight with only early game stats. It's probably not going to end well. So, entering the boss right now, Hakua's going to be attempting a bomb trigger, and he got it. Okay, so...
Yeah,
by
skips
spending
text.
boss
10 seconds.
It basically skips 10 seconds of text, yes. And normally in casual play, you'll fight the slime part with magic powder, but with the mushroom, you can just instantly kill it for some reason. Moving on to the
basically
next phase.
overdose the boss. It's tripping too hard.
Second fight is Aghanim, and the way he works that he shoots out orbs that you have to reflect, and the first 2 orbs are always reflectable, but after that, he may shoot these orbs they're called blue orbs in reference to a Link to the Past, where they are not reflectable, and you generally want to play this part safe because you don't have much health to work with, so Hakua's going to maintain his distance before he reflects the blue when he's trying to reflect the orbs. This is completely random, and
so
he
many
can give
blue
you,
balls, dude.
Yeah, he can keep you indefinitely at bay with this. It's notorious.
Nice.
Wow, what is this?
Four blue balls. Still going strong. It's a 50-50. 5 blue balls. Oh, yep. Nice.
Okay.
Good video game.
I guess in the meantime, I'll start talking about what the next phase is. So the third phase of Deathel's fight is Moldorm, the first boss in the game. However, we could do a trick where we, we could do a trick where we use the shuffle during our Pegasus boost dash to lock ourselves in place. And from there, we could bring out our sword and basically maintain a dash state in place and constantly hit Moldorm and keep him locked before he can hit us, or before he can break out. If you were to break out, it would make the fight a lot longer.
5 blue balls, can you believe it?
God, that was the worst I've ever seen. That's one of the worst I've ever
Never
seen.
lucky, dude.
Alright, now it's Moldorm's phase. Coming next is Ganon's phase. So the way you can dash is either by dashing into him or spinning your sword. When you're dashing into him, it's relatively risky because the bats that he fires are homing at you and you can't really dodge them too well. The fifth phase is some kind of blob. We spin attack it, it dies immediately. I don't know what that is all about. So here's the final phase, Deathel himself.
Open up.
Yes, so his vulnerable spot is his eye, and the way he opens his eye is completely random. Like Aghanim, he can keep you indefinitely at bay. He requires 16 hits to kill, and he can only take damage from either arrows or bombs, the latter being very impractical. So arrow management in this fight is very, very important. You do not want to lose all your arrows before he dies. After a certain amount of hits, as you're seeing right now, his arms will begin to desync and make jumping over him trickier.
Oh gosh. How much? Okay. Woof. Scary. I shot arrows thinking that he had no more health left, but then he kept going, and I was like, oh god, how much HP does he have left?
Very nice fight. Very nice. You still have 2 hearts left. Wow. I think his arms do 2 damage.
They do one full heart.
Oh,
so.
okay. It's still.
It's not over yet though, because I need to get back to town with my low health status. And
Right, we're not done with the game.
It's
This is
not
the first boss
that
order.
dangerous, but these moblins can really be annoying. Unfortunately, they didn't block my path, so I can get through really nicely there.
Haku has 2 hearts right now, but it's very common for him to like go into this part of the game with only like half a heart
or
left.
so.
It makes it really scary.
I know you guys are very busy trying to keep up with this game, but if you've got a minute, whether it's now or sometime in the near future, let me know.
Yeah,
We do
now's
have some
actually a
time
pretty
later,
good time.
Okay,
Actually,
yeah.
if it's like a quick donation or something. Oh,
Yeah. So we don't have any more money. But we just want to talk about our upcoming incentives. Really, we just have Final Fantasy VII left. So just
Whoops.
quickly down the list, we've got Final Fantasy VII for Cloud is currently McNuggy. Tifa is Bone Mom is in the lead. Barrett, we've got Creed in the lead. Ares is Do the Thing with the Lofty 2K. We've got Red 13 is Oh My Dog. And
it's a good one.
Boom Shaka and Jackifer are tied for Sid's name. And yeah, so get your donations in if you feel strongly about one of those names. We also just want to quickly plug that the entirety of the marathon, we've been monitoring everybody's donations, and if you have at least $20 or more, you are eligible for a full Super Famicom set courtesy of Retro Psycho. So definitely, if you want to be in the mix for that, donate at least $20. It's cumulative for all donations throughout the stream. All right, guys.
Alright, so currently what you're seeing right now is a bunch of garble. You might not be knowing where you are, but we're currently still on Underworld 2 because again our objectives go to Dungeon 8. So Dungeon 8 is in Underworld 2. What we're doing now is something we call text gliding, and it's basically going to a room that has text upon immediately entering when you're out of bounds. And this has various effects that you're seeing right now, which involves you move faster for one, not restricted any direction you can go. It's much more free than super swimming or anything. And you can interact with objects, but wall collision is basically gone, so you can just basically glide over everything. So we're gonna go over here to Dungeon 8 and pick up some safety supplies, as well as picking up the fire rod, which we need immediately after for fighting Hothead, the boss of Dungeon 8, as well as the bracelet, which for some reason is placed here.
Yeah, and we actually do need the level 2 power bracelet because otherwise when you beat Dungeon 4, the ghosts will spawn, and we don't want that.
Anyways, yeah, to cancel gliding, you basically have to enter some stairs. Hakua's gonna go into some more stairs here to ensure that the dungeon is properly loaded. And the next upcoming trick is lava swimming, where Hakua is gonna basically jump into the lava, pause just as soon as he lands on the surface of the lava. He can pause before his way through this, so it's not too bad. And once this happens, he can slash his sword and move forward through the transition to force himself to swim inside lava. And doing this,
so yeah, Link is a pretty good swimmer. He can even swim in lava.
Yeah. So with this, he's able to access the wall that he can clip into and super jump into Hothead's room.
Hothead is actually a pretty dangerous boss because any damage is like all of his attacks deal 4 damage. So
yes.
With 3 hearts, it's instant death. But yeah, it went pretty well.
Yeah. Very nice.
Ah.
So
no
earlier, I didn't get a chance to speak about this, but earlier we picked up Mambo's song from
Mambo's Mambo from the interesting cutscene.
Yeah, when we did text time, we also picked up Mambo's Mambo, and this is gonna be very useful. Well, right now it's useful, but it's gonna be vital later.
Necessary.
Yeah, completely necessary.
But I'm glad it's necessary because, you know, Mambo is just a great song.
You gotta jig, you gotta dance.
Now we're dancing. Alright, so it'll bring us back to Mambo's Pond here, and from here we're going to actually go back to the Dream Shrine, because the Dream Shrine is where we can access Dungeon 7. So the route to Dungeon 7's boss, Evil Eagle, is actually probably the most convoluted and more technical of ones, because it requires a bunch of combinations of things. It requires super swimming, it requires out of bounds, it requires zipping, it requires even super jumping and shield bonking off of enemies and objects. So you're gonna see me go for it here on our route. Gotta save all the instruments. Instrument harem.
Oh, please. But yeah, the Junior Shrine is basically placed on the map that we call Underworld 2 again, and this has access to dungeons 7, 8, and the Moonfish Egg, so we're going to Dungeon 7, we're going to here.
Indeed. If you're curious why I'm picking up heart containers, by the way, is you can't actually open up the instrument room without the heart containers. So unlike other Zelda games where you can just skip the heart containers, you can't really do that in this game. Though there is a ROM hack if you want to play the game with only 3 hearts, for those of us who want to challenge. Yeah, seeking a challenge. But yeah, so super swimming here out of bounds. We're going to do the whole witch boosting thing again, but this time we're going to go a lot further than we did last time. The reason for that is because we want to get to Dungeon 7 and not just the boss. So we're going to fall into Dungeon 7, and now we're going to zip downwards, and now, bam, we're in Dungeon 7. So if you know anything about Dungeon 7, you are familiar with the fact that you're supposed to knock down the 4 pillars in Dungeon 7 in order to access the boss area, but since this is a out-of-bounds and filled with the glitches speedrun, we're actually going to just get to the boss by other means. So first I'm going to do the P-Hat super jump here, and I'm going to let Siren take over because I'm going to try to focus on the next upcoming trick.
Yes, so the way he's going to do the P-Hat super jump is he's going to super jump off the bottom wall, and then he's going to slash his sword at the P-Hat to recoil onto the elevated tiles. This is especially tricky to do because the beetles and tends to get in the way. But you do it fast enough like that, you make it to the next room. In the next room, we have one more crazy super jump we're going to do. And we're going to basically recoil off the blade trap to reach the bottom transition of the room. From here, we could bring out our shield and jump and shield block in a particular way that bounces to the right transition. And this lets us access a set of staircase out of bounds that for some reason takes us to the tower when... wow, you got it.
Yeah,
very nice.
First try. That is by far the hardest super jump in this category.
Yes,
it is
it's
very
easy
scary.
for us to die there. Holy crap.
Failing that is an immediately 1 to 2 minute time loss.
But yeah, this staircase takes you to the tower when it's already crumbled for some reason. So from here, we can access the Eagle Tower ball. Conveniently, it also places it beyond the boss door, so we don't need to get the boss key here. The Eagle Tower fight, or the Evil Eagle fight, normally in casual play, you pick up the Mirror Shield and like fight at the top of the tower, and he'll try to push you up in something, but we hit the fire rod, so the Eagle basically died 3 hits from it.
Unfortunately, I missed the quick kill.
Yes, the quick kill.
I'm also about to die, but
oh, be careful.
No problem.
But yeah, with the fire rod, could generally keep the eagle away. And there's the fight. A very minor trick here is that you can use the hookshot to pull the harpoon towards you.
Dang it!
And yeah.
Unbelievable.
Alright, so if you remember earlier, we picked up Mambo's Mambo. Because we said it was absolutely necessary. What is that? A flaming keyboard?
Flaming keyboard. Oh no, guys! I've completed Dungeon 7 and now I have soft locked the game. As you can see here, I can't actually get out of here. If I try to save and quit here, well, I'm still here, so this is a soft lock normally. However, we can use Mambo's Mambo to escape, and that's the real reason why we're getting it.
Yes, this is the complete necessary reason why we had to pick up Mambo's Mambo.
That is so good.
Yep. Alright. So Link needs the dance in order to escape Doom. And so from here, we can't go back to the Dream Shrine because, again, Underworld 2 only connects to Dungeon 7 and 8, but since we've already completed those, the next location we need to head to is Dungeon 6. So earlier we got this portal, so we're going to use it now, and we're going to go over to the Tall Heights area. And from here we can use this cave by D4. Oh, nice like. I got eaten by a like. Suppose you could say that like really likes me.
Too many likes. It's good like.
Alright, so I'm gonna super swim in this cave here, and we're gonna use this to get to Dungeon 6. And
right, so
voila.
This particular cave is not part of Underworld 2. It's actually part of a set of caves and on a map system we call it Underworld 1. And Underworld 1 has access to Dungeons 1 to 6, as well as the other caves. You'll be seeing this throughout for most of the rest of the run. But the way we access this cave is gonna be very interesting because it's not the same every time.
Oh.
So
Nice.
Dungeon 6, in Dungeon 6, going here from out of bounds, placed feeling right next to the boss area, and we want to reload the dungeon so that we can fight the boss properly, and this staircase does that. We need to actually block that in order to access the boss and supplement the rest you see just now. And basically everything is really convenient on this route. So this boss is Facade. He's basically a face on footage to blow up, and for some reason you can actually start blowing them up as soon as you enter the room. So
This game is coded well.
we're able to get 3 hits in. Yeah, we're able to get 3 hits in, and then from there we just have to wait. His attacks are basically just shooting stuff around the room at you, but this is easily handled just by jumping around.
Alright. And that is Facade, the Dungeon 6 boss. That's the face. Yup.
That's the face.
So, as you have noticed, we've been just jumping into boss rooms because who needs boss keys? Just super jump into all the boss rooms. So, coming up next, we're going to head to Dungeon 5. Normally, we would also have to pick up the hook shot at this time, but fortunately, we already got it earlier, so this is really convenient. We can just go straight to the boss.
I just want to take a moment to comment that, like Dungeon 7, we did not open Dungeon 6. Because of this, we're able to access the ledge on the right side, and this basically skips the owl, because the owl is actually right below us at this point.
Yeah, skip some text.
To reach Dungeon 5, you normally have to go down, but there's actually a very convenient cave nearby that leads into Underworld 1. So Hakua is going to be super swimming here, and going straight to D5.
This is one of the more interesting out of bounds.
One of the more convoluted ones for sure, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry too much about where we're going. We're getting someplace, guys.
Oh, an enemy almost hit me. Alright,
Ooh.
so I'm entering the staircase and voila, Dungeon 5. Unfortunately, we don't have a key to unlock this key block. However, we're going to use the flock clipping I mentioned before. Oh, whoops.
Before the Delongos, yes.
Yeah, and we're going to use that to clip into the right wall. Like that. And then from here, we can actually use that to jump over this block, and we're actually by the boss door now.
Yes, and similarly to Dungeon 8 and Dungeon 6, there's a convenient wall that you can clip into and just simply super jump straight to the boss.
Yep.
So,
Dungeon 5
coming out
boss.
here is, yeah, this Dungeon 5 boss is Slimy Eel.
Slimy.
And the
He
way
is
he-
indeed slimy.
The way he works is that he creates 4 walls around, 4 holes in the walls around the room, and he can randomly spawn in any one of them. Hakua's going to do a setup here, where he can position stuff such that he can access any of the positions that he spawns from.
Oh, whoops.
And from here, the boss basically takes 8 hits to kill, and at quickest, you ideally want to kill him in 2 cycles. 4 hits a cycle.
Yeah, unfortunately I messed up the setup, but it's actually a really nice setup that eliminates RNG from a previous RNG heavy fight. Shoutouts to Pui, the Japanese Zelda and other platformer runner who found it.
Yeah, before we had this setup, we would always have to stay on one side of the room and only have access to 2 of the gaps. So it was a very notoriously random fight.
Shoutouts to widescreen Game Boy player. Alright.
So after Dungeon 5, we need to go to Dungeon 4 now. Again, our objective becomes basically to reach Underworld 1. There is a cave nearby, conveniently enough, at the bottom of Martha's Bay. And we can use the thing about these caves is that they all have pools of water in them, and we can just simply super swim off of them and go out of bounds straight to the next dungeon. So that's what you'll be seeing next.
That was a good jump. Nice.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Alright, so here's a nice little out of bounds to get to Dungeon 4. Actually not a fan of this one. This one always confuses me.
This one was pretty zigzaggy too.
Yeah, I always tend to get lost in this out of bounds.
I always had to prepare the nose to navigate this.
Yeah, same. Alright,
So,
and
yeah,
here's the
so-
staircase to Dungeon 4. Fortunately,
Yes.
the boss key is actually right here, so we might as well pick it up. Very convenient.
Yeah. Yeah, unlike Dungeon 8, 5, or 6, or no, 6 and 5, yes. There's no real wall that we super jump straight to the boss room from here, so we do want to pick up the boss key. But this boss key will not only be used here, it's actually going to be very useful later on in the run, and we'll cover that when we get there. Coming up next is the anglerfish boss, which there's not really much to say, you just basically barbecue it with 3 sets of bomb arrows.
Indeed.
Boom, boom, boom. I'm hungry now.
I love seafood. It's quite good.
Same.
Random side note. Probably my favorite kind of food. But yeah, now we have saved the harp.
Save the instruments.
Indeed. So, Dungeon 3, coming up, we also cannot just jump into the boss room. However, we did get Dungeon 3's boss key way back when we got the flippers and did that first super swim, if you can remember that far back. So after Dungeon 4, we actually are nearby the cave system we used to get to Dungeon 6, so we can actually use the same cave to get to Dungeon 3. So from this cave, go right to Dungeon 6, or you can go left to Dungeon 3. Very convenient cave. This out of bounds is actually a lot riskier than the other ones. High chance of soft blocking, so playing it a little bit slow, playing it a little bit safe.
Right. So the thing about this is that you actually want to go downward, but while you're super swim, you can't actually go downward or else you'll crash the game. So the way we do this is we position ourselves before going downward, we jump to cancel super swim, and from there we're allowed to go downward.
Indeed.
But this is really risky because if you just not be down low enough, you will not be able to access the transition, get stuck. Or if you're too far low, you'll trigger the transition and crash the game.
I'd say
now-
it's yeah, pretty scary.
It's really scary. So now we're in Dungeon 3, and the upcoming next boss is Slime Eyes. Not to be confused with Slime You in Dungeon 5. This
He is
boss
also slimy though.
Yes. So from the beginning of this fight, we bonk against the wall to knock him down from the ceiling, and then from there, the first phase consists of us splitting him up. And once he split up, we switched to Tough Veteran Sword and fed the main entire movement while spin slashing. That was a really good fight.
That was a very good fight.
Yeah, so we want to
Sometimes
basically
lucky.
spin slash both sides at once, because when you hit them, they kind of retaliate and do some kind of counterattack where they jump up and land on top of you, and this lets us manipulate them for the next spin slash.
And we have now saved the bell.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Ding dong, ding dong. You can indeed RVO in the original version of the game, though I think some of the glitches will probably be a little bit different, but overall quite similar. So we've been dodging our good pal Mr. Owl this whole time, but he's finally caught on to our antics.
Oh no!
And so he's gonna give us a nice long text box for us to read.
He doesn't like RBO, he has a lot to say.
Unfortunately, he is not our owl boy. No? Thought it was a pretty good joke. Alright, so I'm gonna head into this cave here. And we're gonna head over to
This is
get
the
out of
Dungeon
bounds.
4 area, but
Yeah.
we're not going to be using the same key as we did for Dungeon 3. We're going to be doing this fancy super jump, where you jump past the corner and over the pit to super jump over the ledge. And from there we super jump again to reach the bottom. And from here we're going to head straight downward to reach Dungeon 4's area. Yes, and
now
the
a
reason we're
cave.
going here, yes, the reason we're going to Dungeon 4 is because we can super swim from here, and we have Dungeon 4's boss key. So if you remember
This is
back
important.
then, earlier back in the run, we picked up a small key in Dungeon 3 and we used it in Dungeon 4. We're going to do the same thing here, but with Dungeon 2, where we will stay in Dungeon 4's palette. The game thinks it's in Dungeon 4, but we're going to open Dungeon 2's door with this.
I fell in a hole.
Oh. But yeah.
Oh, that was a mistake. Oops. You didn't see that.
You went too high up?
Yeah, I went too high. Oops. Alright, so I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm gonna have to do that again. Minor
It's okay, it's cool. It's just
softlock.
Check out that sweet super jump. But yeah, the idea is that the keys are tied to the dungeon's palette, but the doors themselves are tied to the dungeons themselves. Use this and open up a boss key door in a dungeon that it's not supposed to be for. And this is really useful because the boss keys in Dungeon 2 and 1 are very Dungeon 2 you have to like solve some kind of silly puzzle where you have to kill enemies in order, and it wastes quite a bit of time. So
I blame falling into that pit by accident. Threw off my mojo, dude. Alright, anyway,
okay.
back on track. Gotta super swim back to where I was.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a feeling I went too far up, but...
You didn't fall in the hole this time, you did it. So yeah, AzureHakua is gonna
unlocking the
open
door, which is in Dungeon 4's palette, because we have the Dungeon 4 boss key, and it actually stays open while we are back in Dungeon 2.
Yep, doors are tied to the dungeons, not to the palette.
Yep. And here is the level 2 boss, Dungeon 2 boss, Genie.
This is the Genie.
Evil Genie in the bottle.
Yep, so the first phase consists of him shooting a round of fireballs at you, then retreating back to his pot. Casually, you're supposed to stun the pot, then pick up and throw at the wall, and repeat this process several times. However, we can pick up the pot, wall clip into a wall, throw the pot inside a wall, and this will instantly break the pot. And this will move on to the second phase, where he'll just basically chase you down, shoot fireballs at you. But you can make quicker than this just simply by using bombs and bomb arrows. And he's already dead. Very nice.
Yep, and that's the Genie quick kill.
So, coming out next is going to be our trip to Dungeon 1. For the most part, as I said earlier, this is going to be pretty much the same as going to Dungeon 2. You're going to be going back to Dungeon 4, using the boss key there to unlock Dungeon 1's boss door, and then fighting Dungeon 1's boss from there. So, with that said, I think now would be a good time to cover what JRTA is all about.
Or any donations or whatever. Got some time.
Let's take a quick look. Yeah, no more donations. Again, we just want to remind you that we've got Final Fantasy VII names coming up. You can take a look at those on the incentive schedule. But yeah, we're getting close to the end of the marathon. We do want to push towards beating our previous JRTA2 dollar amount, and we've got about $500 to go. So please keep donations coming. It's for a great cause. Thank you.
I did this. I accidentally used the warp portal again to pivot. I did that in practice too, accidentally using that warp portal. But
anyways, guys, yeah, please
silly.
donate. I believe in you all.
Alright. So back into our cave, where we belong.
Back to Rule 1.
Okay. So, same out of bounds we did earlier. This is just the fastest way to get back into the Dungeon 4 area, given that we've... Oh, I guess fun thing about this room that I'm passing through here is the Dungeon 3 boss. So this trick actually really only works for reverse boss order, where we've already defeated Dungeon 3's boss. Because otherwise, you'll be trapped in that room because the boss is there.
Yeah, boss rooms, when they had the boss, it will kind of suck you in, like, keep
Yeah, you can't really escape boss rooms.
So a lot of our outbound movement actually is routed to avoid silly things like that. And now we're on the way to Dungeon 1. We can already recognize a few rooms. Here's the boss key, boss door, and we're in Dungeon 4's palette, and we already have Dungeon 4's key, so... Open the door, yep, use the stairs to reset. And now we're gonna fight Moldorm, which at this point in the game, health wise will not be threatened, but he's
nice.
still a threat because he can knock you down. Oh! Yeah, so, yeah, Moldorm can do that. On the right side, you can buffer jump when you fall in the gap to get out of the underground more quickly. But anyways, the thing Hakua is doing right now is like preparing a spin slash, and this does 2 damage to Moldorm. Moldorm has 4 HP. And yeah, with just jumping and slashing, it makes the fight much more doable. But again, just recoiling off of Moldorm makes it really easy to just simply fall off the stage, as you just saw. And Moldorm is notorious for like being able to waste time in that sense.
Did you know that I actually had a run where I died to Moldorm in reverse boss order? So this means I had how many hearts? Like, what, 11 hearts? And this is the first dungeon boss, and I died to it in one of my runs once. It was pretty embarrassing to say the least.
Anyways, coming up next, now we're done with all the bosses. We have rescued all the instruments, and now it's time to bring them home to the end screen. We're going to be using Mambo's Mumbo here, which may perplex you because we want to go back to the Dream Center to access that.
Yep.
I think we just beat Moldorm, the owl, and as well as the cutscene that happens when Bow Wow is kidnapped occurs because you beat Moldorm.
Excuse you? Bow Wow is a dog? He got dog-napped, not kidnapped?
You got dog-napped. You're right. Anyways, because of this, going through the way back to town without Mambo is actually much slower from all the cutscenes, so we basically Mambo our way around it. And
what a Hakua thing to happen.
Classic Hakua.
Alright, but yeah, from here on out, it's kind of the same movement to get to Deathel.
Yep.
So, you've seen it before, you'll see it one last time as we make our way to Deathel.
One last march. Unfortunately, this game doesn't really have a way to credits skip to the credits,
Yeah,
so we
credits
have to
warp.
actually fight Deathel again.
No credits warp, feels bad, man.
Yeah. Unlike
Oops.
unlike the past.
Yeah, Link to the Past, you can get into the Triforce room.
And once again, the super swim is really precise because you're not supposed to be able to super swim off of corner tiles, and technically you're not. You just have to get close enough so that the game thinks you're off of regular tile, a regular wall tire. And here we are, witch boosting, and from here we go
Here
to
we are.
Deathel. The home stretch.
Nice,
Oh,
I got
nice.
the tech skip. Very nice.
Nice. That's twice in this run. Both times in this run,
Yeah,
actually.
pretty good.
But yeah,
Mushroom
at this
is very
point,
powerful.
yes. At this point, health-wise, we're not very threatened, or at least compared to when we first bought Deathel, where we only had 3
Yeah,
hearts.
it's pretty safe,
But,
so... So, the
even
true
still-
reason why we got the shovel is because you can reflect the balls of light with the shovel, which is clearly the way to go. Shoutouts to Shovel Knight.
Yeah, Shovel Knight's a good game.
Good game. Aw. Unless I get 5 blue balls like the first time. That was
So
quite
yeah, the
unfortunate.
RNG display is still victorious.
Oh no, 2 blue balls already.
Oh my god, he's going to try to beat the record. Smash the record.
3 blue balls, oh no!
He's
Deathel,
on his way!
Aghanim, please. 4!
Jokes aside.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if this is gonna be more than the first fight.
Wow. But jokes aside, having a shovel right now is actually really convenient if you plan to do the little shovel trick that we did earlier against the next Moldorm phase. Because we already had the items equipped. You don't have to go to an extra menu.
Well, there's 5. Can we make it 6? Can we get the bad RNG?
Holy sh...
6
Wow.
blue balls, dude! This is such marathon luck. Unbelievable.
Classic marathon luck. Who knows? So yeah.
7?
That's
Hello?
Game. Being forced to fight him twice is rude because of this particular case.
8?
Wow, he is not letting you
Oh
have it
my
today.
goodness, dude. He's just giving it to me.
Straight baller.
9. I have never seen this many blue balls before. This is kind of incredible, actually.
Aghanim.
I actually may be in danger now. Okay.
Yeah.
9 blue balls, dude.
So yeah, how
Unbelievable.
Well, you still have your secret potion. You're fine.
No, I used it already.
What? But yeah, aside from health, the other big concern about this fight is simply your resource count. So as I said earlier, that will take 16 arrows to kill, and if you run out of arrows in this fight somehow, you're gonna have a rough time.
Wow, that was honestly something incredible. I've never seen that many in any of my runs.
Yeah.
Best case scenario is 0 blue balls.
I guess I think a note to mention that those sort of follows you, follows your positioning. So the way Hakua moves it up right at the start was actually manipulating Deathel's position.
Mhm.
And once again, at the opening's eye is RNG. So We're just simply waiting for the open side. We're at its mercy. And then after several or so hits, it's also being resynced. There it is.
Ah, okay. Ba-da-dum, 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 ba-da-dum.
Very nice.
And that is the final boss. And time is going to end as soon as it whites out here.
Get ready.
And time. And that, my friends, is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX Reverse Boss Order.
Very nicely done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic run.
Were you timing that by any chance? Do you want to know what your time is?
I was not timing it, so I don't know. What was the time?
46:55.
46:55. Not bad. Not bad.
There you go.
All right.
Very nice.
Okay, so I guess after this, I'm going on for another run of Ravi Ruby.
That's right. You're not done yet. We're not letting you off the hook.
Well, Hakua may not be done, but I'll be signing off here. Thank you,
All
everybody.
Thank you for helping me commentate Siren. It was very insightful.
Yes. Glad to be here. Everyone, please keep donating. Have a good one.
See ya.
Thank
See ya, dude. And then I'm gonna invite my pal Mikon to join me on mic.
Alright.
He is in the setup room.
I'll pull him in right now. Whoa.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello, hi. How are you?
Mikon's box. Hello. Should we do an audio check for Mikon?
I need the link to the actual thing I'll be watching.
Oh, right. I forgot to give it to you. Oh, yeah. There it is.
I got it.
Okay.